especially during COVID. Probably more
Yeah,
so.
no, that was a big fuck. Because uh,
What's up, guys? Welcome back to an interesting discussion sometimes. This week we got a special guest. His name is Vern. Yeah, I'll let him introduce himself.
Hey, so I work with this organization called Red Room, and basically we have a team of producers, engineers, and artists that we work with regularly, and we record for them. We edit their vocals. We make instrumentals, customize, and do a couple other things, and we shoot music videos as well. So that's kind of what I'm here to talk about today, because I truly believe in the stuff I do.
yeah, it's hype. So how long, you had this business going on for?
Now it's like a year and a half. But we've seen rapid growth with Corona.
Mhm.
I don't know what it was. They had unemployment money. I don't know what it was.
I wanted to ask you like how you even got started in this, because I mean I knew you in high school, but I didn't know you were like into music like that, or like where this sort of like passion of yours started. So I mean, like, how did you go about like making this?
Okay, so to be honest, I was never into music as from like perspective of making it. I mean, I would always
Mhm.
listen. Who doesn't listen to music? But when I don't know, there was a time in my life where like I felt like I was listening to so much music as a just a pastime that me and my friends got together and we were just trying to like figure out how people make music.
Mhm.
And from there we started asking the questions, like how would I make a beat? How would you get someone's vocals to sound a certain way? How would you record them in the right setting? And kind of through just like curiosity, we started doing it.
Mhm.
And it's really became like my number one passion, which is something like I didn't really feel anything else about. So it's kind of like really motivating me to do more every day.
Y'all can't see it like on the episode, but Varun is actually in a red room right now, so he truly lives the brand like day in and day out.
He's wearing a red shirt too.
Yeah.
I thought it was orange, but
Yeah, I was just gonna say that like it's rare that you can usually make a passion into a living, and so that I've seen that you've done it, and like I can see your grind, I can see your motivation. Like that's pretty exciting, I guess you could say. Like it's nice to see. You know what I mean?
yeah. Thank you. Dude, honestly, I feel like in 2020, if you don't realize that whatever you actually do in your free time, if you're not like a bozo, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
anyone could make a living off doing, what a photography or literally just making graphic designs for YouTubers. I don't know, like
Yeah.
if you find the right channels, like anybody, like even there's some little kids doing it.
Yeah, you ever heard that rapper like Matt XO? That kid's like 14 or whatever.
Matt Ox, right?
Yeah.
Dude,
The
he's
kids.
actually balling out. He's balling out because he's actually like he's good on the business end, or at least he has a team.
Yeah.
I don't know. Instagram is crazy. Instagram is crazy. TikTok is the new thing, I guess, now, which I haven't really tapped into. I feel like that'll be the next step, like dancing videos.
Yeah.
Someone was telling me, like when we make beats, our producers, like one of my producers, his name is Embry. He's a guy, he makes like hard trap beats, and he always says like if you can't do a whoa or any TikTok dance to your song, then or to your beat, then it sucks.
That's the new
I mean,
new
yeah, I
criteria.
respect that.
I don't know if it would suck, but I feel like in terms of like branding it, like it's so easy for songs to just pop off on TikTok. Like if they just like if like one like 15-year-old there like makes up some like dumbass dance to this song, and then everyone catches on, and then it's just a trend.
Wow. Yeah. huge trend. I didn't even think people would want to. Everyone's dancing these days now.
Maybe not everybody should, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and it's like the simplest songs too, or like
Yeah.
some really, really outlandish songs, you know? Like,
Yo, who was that guy on? I don't know if his songs blew up on TikTok, but like it was during quarantine. He has like a really squeaky voice. You know what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
I know you're talking about.
Oh,
Turn and sing it.
it was like 1400 something. Like he's got a bunch of numbers in his name and shit. I know what you're
yeah,
talking about.
man. He's got like a
Yeah.
super squeaky voice. It's like mad sus, but it kind of goes hard too. Fuck. I gotta look it up, but that man,
Yeah, he
the
was-
fact that that man's popped off means that, man, you could do anything, bro.
Yeah.
Like you could really do anything.
There's a market for anything out there.
it is so weird. There is a market for anything. You could not even, one thing that's crazy to me is you could not even really have a product, have any inventory, but just have just like a web page where you're getting traffic to.
Mhm.
And you could just make $1 million if you set it up the right way in time.
Right, yeah.
Mhm.
People can just market ideas and just make money off that, like market their advice or anything like that today.
It's a pretty abstract idea, but I feel like more than ever, just any niche can be hit. You just got to find a way to do it.
Mhm. I was actually watching this YouTube video recently, and it's basically something about this like online business, I guess you could say. And there's this guy who does like really comprehensive book reviews, and that man's just has like thousands of book reviews on his blog. And I guess he just puts like straight just affiliate links to Amazon. So every time somebody buys a book through that
Mhm.
link, he gets some money, and he's making like close to $1 million a year just off that. They're
Damn.
fucking crazy. And it's a blog, bro. We're in 2020. He's making a bag off a blog.
And he's never seen these books that he's selling. He's just,
yeah, exactly.
it's wild. What the heck? See, like, that's what I'm saying. It's whatever. I feel like the best thing for people to do is like whatever you are truly passionate about, like inherently, that whatever your mind finds to do in your free time would be if you can find a way to just at least as a hobby, do something with it. There's so much opportunity.
Yeah, totally.
So much.
Yeah, at that point, it's not work anymore.
Yeah, 'cause
So you
you're
actually
into
enjoy
it.
yourself.
Speaking of that, how's your job going, Harsha?
This is great, man. I'm really passionate about coding for a bank.
Oh, I missed out on the what's on your wallet this time.
Oh yeah, that's it. I don't know. It's not that exciting. It's just the same stuff every day, and never really ends. I'm sure Tarun has the same experience in his job.
Yeah, I mean, every once in a while you'll get something gets put across your desk to so to say that's like interesting or more fun, but usually it's like really monotonous and like, oh bro, like I can't. I'm so tired of waking up at 8:30 for like a scrum to say like what I did the day before. It's just it's so like menial. I don't know.
Hey, tomorrow my team's playing Pictionary in the morning, so I'm looking forward to
Wow.
that.
It's like you're going to third grade all over again.
Hey, you're actually good at Pictionary though.
Yeah, I'll flex on them.
I bet. Will they give you a bonus?
Nah, but I did win $200 on Monday though.
Oh yeah, tell us more, you fucking beast.
Uh, so for work, our department hosted an internal hackathon, and somehow our team won, so we ended up getting $200.
What are you gonna spend it on? You're halfway
Nothing.
to a PS5.
Nah,
So what are you gonna buy me?
I'll donate to our Anchor funds.
I'll take
Bro,
it.
we can't have a 20,000% increase like that. What the fuck?
I was gonna ask you guys though. Would you guys work in a field that you guys don't totally believe in, and like, let's say, would you guys work for like multiple years in a field that you don't totally like believe in the work? Maybe you like coding, right? But maybe you don't like coding for a certain thing, or maybe you don't like coding for a certain product, like you don't like want to code for a bank, you want to do AI or whatever it is. Would you guys do that for more than like 5-10 years?
I don't think so. I think from coding, most of the satisfaction is when you're coding for a smaller company or a startup or something like that. I think that would be more interesting as opposed to coding for such a big company. You feel really insignificant. So I don't see myself doing that for more than 5 years, like you said.
But do you like coding, like, period?
Yeah, when it's coding on something that's interesting to me, then it's fun. But just like some platform for an enterprise, it's just kind of boring.
Yeah, I see.
Fixing bugs all day, or like?
No, we're doing more development, so that's actually better. Some teams just work on maintaining like the Capital One website or stuff like that, and that's just really boring because you're just fixing bugs. But since we're actually developing and starting an application, it's more it's better than other work. So it could be worse, is what I'm saying.
Are you guys all coders?
Oh, no.
Only Harsh and Turn are.
Yeah, so currently, I mean, I have my degree, but I'm still seeking work, and I'm kind of struggling with like what you're talking about, and like working a job that I don't like and a job that would just like pay me, you know. And so my degree was in like sports journalism and like television and like that kind of stuff. And so part of the thing for me is I have to work in a good environment where like I'm able to not just like trust the people that like I work for and I work with, but like being in a healthy environment, like career wise, is something that they help me, and you know it helps me progress. And so trying to find that balance is very tough because there's a lot of jobs that have been out there for a while, but there's a reason why nobody has like taken them, because they're like shitty places to work and stuff like that. So that's what I'm struggling with at the moment.
Yeah, it's probably a kind of a limited amount of jobs in sports journalism at
Yeah.
that level, right?
Yeah, so entry level, I mean, it goes for a lot of jobs, like period, but especially in like entertainment, it's about who you know, not like what you know. So those kind of connections, I mean, I'm really grateful to like have made some of the connections I made, especially at school. I had a really cool job there, but you know, those only, you know, the branches only go so far into like the other organizations and stuff. So being able to find those like minute connections is really tough sometimes. So
Especially during COVID, probably even more.
yeah,
tougher.
no, that was a big fuck, because I mean, not only did my job come to a like close like very quickly, but I mean, like all the experience I was gonna get out of like the rest of my job was like gonna be really crucial because I was entering like a phase where I was gonna do a lot more like interactive stuff. So that sucked. But I mean, everybody there I'm on good terms with, so I know I could call them for like a reference or anything. So yeah, it was not great. So I worked in the athletics department at Virginia Tech. I did all the filming for the ACC network, and we had shows on ESPN. I worked a couple of games on ABC, mostly with basketball, soccer, and pretty much every sport except for football, because football was more tight knit. But that was pretty much my job. So we did stuff online and on TV.
Why did you get into sports journalism?
Like I knew kind of the thing you're talking about, like passions and stuff. Like I knew I was really passionate about like sports, and I was a pretty good writer, but I was also really good at math. But I could see like even in high school when I took math classes, I was like, what the fuck? Like I'm good at it, but I really hate this shit. Like I don't want to do this like as a living. Like I was like, do I want to be an accountant? Fuck no. I don't want to go for like a business degree because like it's gonna give me good jobs, yeah, but like I probably fucking hate doing it all the time. So I'm not gonna put myself in that situation. So I guess I made a sacrifice in that stance. But no, I mean, like it's kind of like you're saying, when you are doing something you like you're not working, you're just like having fun or whatever. So that's the way I was looking at it. So it kind of sucks that right now there's not a lot of options, but hopefully when it does come up, like it's a lot easier, to go to work like every day. So
Good luck. That's really cool. I actually wanted to get into sports journalism at one point for basketball.
yeah.
There's a lot of it seems like a lot of fun. Were you more on the writing side or like the video?
Well, my job was all like the video production, and so like shooting the camera, doing all the production work, behind the scenes of what goes on to a TV show. So that's where I had a lot of my experience. But in my classes and everything, I did a lot of writing and a lot of like, I guess you could call it like a newsroom kind of thing. And so I was really fortunate to like learn under a lot of people that had hella experience in that field. So that was really influential and like progressing me writing wise, but also like, I mean, entertainment sells and makes money. So like that's kind of what people are into nowadays. So getting best of both worlds.
Interesting. That's actually. Wow, what sport did you ideally want to like?
Definitely basketball, just because I grew up playing basketball. I mean, like, I don't know, ever since like 6th grade, I mean, basketball has just been my number one sport. But, last few years, been getting into soccer a lot. So I've been looking at jobs like outside of the country, stuff like that. I mean, I'm big into football as well. So, I mean, I'm pretty open to most sports, except for like, I don't know, hockey. Like, I watch hockey, but like, bro, hockey ain't it. Plus it's cold all the time. Like,
It's just so hard to keep track of the puck, man.
Mhm.
Like,
yeah, dude, I can't imagine working camera for hockey, dude. I would lose the puck just, doing that shit. Like, it would be impossible. But
Like really punishing each other.
yeah, no, it's pretty brutal.
yeah. You never see any other sport where like they promote fighting on the on the pitch. Like,
Yeah,
like, it
absolutely.
never makes sense to me that like two players having beef and it's like, all right, let's pause the game and they'll just settle it out
Just
and like
throw it
everyone
out,
just like
yeah.
pounding on the glass next to them. It's crazy.
It's almost psychotic. To be
It
honest,
really
when
is
you
almost
think about
psychotic.
it,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, a lot of people see like football, like in America, like that too, where you just see these two dudes like full steel like helmets, like just fucking running into each other all day
Yeah.
long. So I can see it from like an outsider perspective, but
MMA is like
that's true.
it's even more psychotic.
Yeah, you literally like, all right, you two are gonna fight until one of you is like fucking unconscious.
Yeah.
Like sign away that if you die, like the other dude's not your son.
When you
Yeah,
see these
that's
dudes like
crazy.
get kicked in the skull, like with somebody's shin, like, nah, it's over.
Hits inside of their head.
Nah, I'm out.
Or
Tarun, how about you? Do you enjoy your coding job? I know you don't really, but like explain in what world you would.
Okay, I mean, like right now I'm on 2 projects, so it's like it's nice to have 2 things to work on, so it's not every day is like the exact same.
Mhm.
And then one of them, like basically all the like we're developing this application, right? And I feel like usually for projects like you start like halfway through, or like especially if you're entry level, you don't start as soon as the project starts. But for me, that's what happened, and so I don't know. It was nice like seeing like being on the team from start to finish. You know what I mean? Like this project's gonna end in like the next month or so. And so like being there the whole time, I had like we went through like all the ups and downs. You know what I mean? And I don't think I had that experience even in like an internship or anything like that. So that's the good part of it. The bad part of it is like, bro, I honestly couldn't even care what the fuck this application does or who uses it. Like, like
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like I really don't give a shit. But I guess like it is a good experience though. It wasn't all bad.
All right, Ron, you don't really count because you're in grad school.
Yeah,
but,
I'm a student.
Where,
But
where's your like divide about like where you would work that you wouldn't like,
yeah, so originally, I kind of wanted to go into oil and petroleum and like that side of engineering. But the more I thought about it as like time went on, and like this past summer, I took a 1-week course about basically like environmental engineering and like the future of our ecosystem, and that's just kind of scary. And I feel like
Yeah, we're fucked.
And I feel like if I was to apply myself to like oil and petroleum, I would just be prolonging a thing that I think we can actually move on from and actually still survive like as a society. So I think I would like to be part of like alternative energy and like that like research for that maybe. I feel like that would be something I would be driven towards. But besides that, maybe like propulsion and like aircraft design. I feel like recently I've been kind of getting more interested into that. So maybe I should take in aerospace as a undergrad. Looking back now, but yeah, I don't know yet. I think I'm still like not decided what I want to commit myself to. So
Okay. Well, it sounds like you're a big fucking nerd, but you're really smart, so it's warranted. But yeah, no, I mean, it's the way you were talking about how you wanted to go into oil and that is perpetually damaging the earth, and now you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't.
I
you
mean, like
know?
the money was there, and I think when I was like growing up, I was like,
Well,
oh, I want
yeah.
to make money as an engineer. This is like a good idea for me to do, but morally, when I started to think about it, it's not the move.
How
Yeah.
how long do you think till like oil doesn't become like the primary source?
So I think like we could shift out of it within the next. I would say like I think we have to phase out of it. We can't like immediately just shut it off, but I would say like in the
Mhm.
next like 60 to 80 years, I think like by then I think in 80 years I think oil will be like a tertiary like resource, I think. And I think we can like shift into more of the new alternative sources of energy. But I mean that's also see like if that happens, I don't know what the fuck happens in the Middle East because like they're dependent on the oil economy, so like that could be a problem. I don't know what they're gonna do. So I don't know like how like committed like all the global leaders will be to phasing out of oil, but I don't know.
Correct me if I'm wrong. U.S. hasn't really tapped into most of their.
Exactly, yeah. US has a lot of plants that they haven't even tapped into just because like they can just use everyone else's until they've used all of it, then they can just keep their resources to themselves because
We're such
pricks.
scumbags.
Yeah. We're scumbags.
Is there some sort of clock in Times Square that's counting down till the world's ending or something? Like based on
They allow that? Is that actually true?
Yeah, I saw
thought
some
there was a
posts, it like
debt
7
counter.
years or something. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, I don't know what it was for exactly.
Well, we're fucked either way. I mean, like, for so
Yeah, I
many
mean, like at this
reasons.
point, I think like all the actions we're taking now are like definitely later than we should have been.
Mhm.
Oh yes.
But so it's basically just like trying to, like I guess make up for what we didn't do for the last like 15, 20 years. But I don't know. I don't even know like how, because it's like ideally like we could all like move towards like cleaner energy resources, but that actually happening is like really hard to implement. And it's really dependent on all the governments like around the world and them working together, which is not always the case.
Yeah,
Speaking
so
of,
this
go
clock
ahead.
is for it's counting down till the effects of global warming become irreversible, apparently.
Yeah.
and what's it at?
7 years and
Fuck.
counting.
Damn, bro.
Oh, also, I found that squeaky voice rapper. His name
What's
is
his name?
645 AR.
What the heck?
Bro, it's just
Of course, that's
take a little break to listen to 645 AR. We're gonna take a opportunity to take an ad break. All right, guys. Hope you all enjoyed the ear bleach. Try to clean yourselves out. So we're gonna run it back with Hey man, if you actually listen to 645, man, that dude's man. Moving on. So last week, actually no, Tarun, I thought Harsh and I at least were talking about the NBA draft earlier, and the guy that the Wizards selected, Danny Avdija. He plays for Maccabi Tel Aviv in Israel, and I don't know where he's from. I think he's from a European country. I don't want to get it wrong,
Israel.
but
Israel.
Shalom.
yep.
Israeli.
But that's not the I know you don't care about like the basketball part, but I wanted to tell you about how he learned English. This dude learned English by playing COD when he was growing up and by watching Drake and Josh and iCarly.
Bro.
What a legend.
That's
Everybody's like,
amazing.
we're gonna wait for him to say the N-word like on air in the middle of the game or some shit.
You have the most toxic vocabulary.
You think he came out here and he just like to everybody he's like, hug me brother, hug me brother. It just goes around.
He actually speaks pretty well. I heard a couple of
Yeah,
interviews
no,
last
he
night.
does. Yeah, no, he seems like a really nice dude. I just thought it was funny that like the first stories about him is he learned English playing Call of Duty growing up. But I thought about it earlier. He was probably born, I don't know how old he is, but he's probably born like 2003 or 2002.
I think he's 19. So yeah, I think like 2001, 2002.
How big is
What
his
the fuck?
contract?
It'd probably be 4 years.
Yeah,
But-
he's got the rookie contract. You don't get a big
Yeah.
contract until like a couple
Yeah.
years into the NBA.
But he'll make millions. We'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he'll be a decent player.
Fuck. At 19, bro, that's hype.
Anyway, I wanted to include Tarun in the fucking COD sniper of Egypt, whatever the fuck. That was the coolest thing I saw this week. But Harsha, I know you do lots of sightseeing.
Oh, do I?
I don't know.
Insane segue.
Yeah, I didn't really see much interesting last week, besides the NBA draft that I saw yesterday.
Nice.
Wait, actually, I have something to bring up.
Go ahead.
Did you guys see Twitter stories?
Yeah, what the hell is that?
Yeah,
What
I
is
did
that?
see that. It's called Fleets. So
Fleets?
stupid.
Yeah,
It's called Fleets.
Damn,
It's
bro.
disgusting.
It's fleeting stupid.
Well, what's the point? Why is everyone trying to do this?
I don't know, man. I actually really don't
You're
know.
asking the wrong people. Money? But like, how do you even make money off of that? Like, I don't know.
I mean, I guess you're keeping them on the app for longer, but like, why? I feel like Twitter is like, I mean, Twitter, I just go to see something funny and then I get off the app. Like, I don't give a shit what people are doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was Snapchat the first one to start with the stories thing, and then everyone just hopped on? Like,
Yeah.
true.
Oh, they're getting rid of memories on Snapchat, I heard.
Wait, what? Why? That's like their
Fucking, I
best
don't know,
feature.
bro.
Isn't Snapchat basically just dead now? I feel like.
No. A lot of young people use it. We're too old.
I mean, we were there when it popped off. I feel like, but I
Yeah.
feel like
Oh, yeah.
in general, everyone just shifted towards Instagram.
Nah, people still be using it. Hella.
I feel like Snapchat's gonna come out with their own version of Instagram Reels or TikTok and just try to copy everyone else.
Yeah.
After everyone
Wait,
copied
on
them.
Twitter
Shit.
Fleets, are they posting pictures or are they just posting tweets?
No,
How
you
does
can
it
post
work?
like it's just like posting pictures and stories. Like, yeah.
Or like a video. Whatever you want, really.
I saw something that was people are gonna post on Twitter Fleets like my recent tweet. Just post a picture of it they do for Instagram.
Dude, I hate motherfuckers that do that, dude.
Yeah.
Like, people that like it's a lot of the IG thoughts, like, honestly, that like post a picture and then they put like new post like that covers the entire picture except for their like username, and it's like, oh, go like and comment on my recent post. It's like, bitch, shut the fuck up.
No, like you have to.
Yeah, I was about to say, I feel like you probably have to if
I
you're
mean,
trying to be a model.
If you're a
Instagram.
business, like, I get it.
But if you're just promoting your like half naked,
Yeah.
I mean, but some people are just trying to be models, you know.
I mean, I respect the grind, but like, leave me alone.
What social media platform do you think helped promote your studio the most?
A lot of our stuff is word of mouth because like we don't do a lot of social media marketing. Like, really, we're just trying to stay consistent in what we do and like hope it works. Because like I'm not into like, there's a lot of things that you need to do that are just too much.
Yeah.
Just to do for social media marketing. But anyway, I think it's Instagram, and I think what we're doing, we're in the works of making this website that like is more interactive, and we're trying to have like, you know, a bunch of things that we can kind of push that link for that website and have people come there to buy beats. It would be like a studio but in website form. At their tracks, and then we can mix and master them and like be able to select and interact with these beats and see like who made it and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I feel like that really setting up a website, because I mean Instagram is probably the best thing for us, but like we're more focused on now like converting to something, so then, you know, it's converting to another page that can you can check out on and pay for something. Well, I guess you can do that on Instagram these days, but you couldn't do it for studio time.
Right.
Yeah, we kind of go through the same thing because like being like an audio based like media, like it's tough to promote on a platform where it's all like visually, interactive. And so like we did a rebrand like I don't know, like 2 months ago or whatever, and so like that was a big part of it where like we just try to make things more visually appealing, try to get like more interaction that way. But at the end of the day, it's kind of the same thing. Like you have to get audio out there like to get people interested in your product, so it's a lot tougher on a platform where it's just all pictures and videos.
Exactly. Like it's like these like I feel like whatever it is, whatever product service that you're pushing, it has to sell itself for it to really pop off. It has to sell itself. Like you can't, you know what I'm saying? Especially now that it's saturated in every way, in every industry that you could market through Instagram, like podcasts, studios, producers, this, that, and the other.
Yeah, bro. It's like it's hard. It's hard doing marketing because you have to make people care. But how do you make people care when, like, if this is like a long form like audio content, right? Like it's different with music, I'd say. But for podcasts, how do you make them go listen to a whole hour just off a post on Instagram, right? And then even if you make it there, if they make it to our Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever, it's like we have to be producing good content. So if they have a good experience with like within like the first minute, then they might stick around for another episode or another episode after that, and they might give us a follow. But
they're so low. It's
exactly yeah.
You have to hope for a very low percentage as well.
Yeah, and that's why TikTok is like such an amazing platform. Like if you're trying to pop off, like there's no barrier to entry. It's like if you're on YouTube, right, and you like search for a video and you see a video by like a guy with like 1 million subscribers and a guy with like 10K, you're gonna click on the one with 1 million subscribers and the one with more views, right? But like with TikTok, it just shows you what it thinks you want to see, right?
Yeah.
And so
the algorithm is just like
and it's so short. It's so short that it's so easy to just like hang on for a second and like hear that person out, I guess.
They did as the longest video on there is 60 seconds. Like that is the longest thing you will see on there.
Yeah, if anything's over
even
like 20
for those,
seconds,
I skip them sometimes.
Yeah, if there's anything longer than 20 seconds, you just go to the comments and be like, "Why this shit is so long, bro?" And we just get so heated in the comments. Like everyone's attention span is only like 10 seconds and they're out.
Dude, has people's I don't know. I don't know. Like, has people's retention like span or attention span gone down over time?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, especially with social media, like everybody's just been so focused on getting everything so quickly, that everybody's so impatient. And which is why it kind of shocks me that like movies still do really well. Because unless you're like previously invested, like sitting there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, I'm surprised that people still do that when the attention spans are so low. Like I think I learned in one of my classes that the average attention span is like between 7 and 14 seconds. And so that's such a short amount of time to, like what Tarun was saying earlier, like get somebody's interest and retain it. So it just like it's so hard to be able to get something that keeps people coming back when you only have like that. It's like a first impression, you only have that one shot.
Honestly, if like people that made movies, like the way they made money was based on how attentive people are to the movie while they're watching it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, because like at the theater, like it's like a whole experience. Like you go there, like you don't want to distract anyone else. You don't want to distract like people next to you or like yourself. Really, they say like turn your phones off and everything. So everyone's like focusing on the screen. But especially like right now during like COVID and like where they're releasing movies all like on demand, I bet you half the movies people buy like they watch, but they're also like they're on their phone like half the time until like something intense happens and they look up. So yeah, I think it's just like the atmosphere of a theater is like why movies still succeed. But as soon as like movies become like off, like there won't be any movie theaters maybe in the future, then I feel like movie industry might actually fail from that.
Will that bring the rise to like more short films?
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. Yeah, like a condensed version. Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that's already happened with YouTube. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like films. Like I don't know if that's the same
Yeah.
realm, but like vlogs and stuff. Like I mean,
Mhm.
vlogs didn't exist like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like people just watch TV shows or movies and that's it.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
It's kind of like what Quibi tried to do with short shows, but then they failed.
Man,
They got
Quibi.
some A-list actors there, to be fair. Not A-list, but
Yeah,
like
well,
like pretty
that
famous
shit failed.
celebrities. Yeah.
bro,
That's true.
I think they invested like $1 billion into that app.
On
It was,
easily,
it was
yeah.
multi-billion. It was
Yeah, it was,
multi-billion.
like unreal, dude, for no reason too.
Yes, I was gonna ask, what do you think is the next step for Red Room? Like, what do you see in its future, either near future or long term?
Essentially, what we're trying to do is we're really trying to hone in on the production and the mixing and mastering, because both of those things are things that we can do remotely.
Mhm.
We can create a channel and have people like have a whole database of beats of different kinds of genres, and have people access that, and purchase leases like continuously, and then purchase mixing and mastering, which is what a lot of people want. Because those are the two things that a lot of people want who are artists or recording artists that they don't. They have like a lot of people, it's like way over their head to be able to do that and rap or sing well and write well or whatever.
Mhm.
I feel like the next move is for us to create that kind of channel consistently, for beats and for mixing. Because I work with Karit. He's doing a lot of mixing. There's only so much mixing that he can do, like in person. But if you have like a bunch of work coming to us, and we have we have a lot more people to like bring it to and get different ears on it. It can be like a kind of like an assembly line, really, because that's what we do with our beats these days. So we're just working on being more efficient and just kind of creating that channel, like I said. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like, as somebody who's gone through all 4 phases of that individually, people don't understand, like, to hear a 3-minute song, like, so many hours of work go into each part of that process. Making the beat, I mean, sometimes it just comes to you and it's really easy. Sometimes it takes days. Lyrics, again, hit or miss, but like mixing and mastering are like, they're like a form of science. And so it's really tough to be able to get that like first try. And, sometimes it'll sound different when you hear it the first time. You put it down, you come back, you'll hear something different. And so those take so much time,
Different speakers, because like there's this
Yeah.
from like you have these nice speakers in the studio. Do they sound the same as what the average person would listen to music on?
Right.
Mhm.
They not have the same frequency range, like and even like you were saying, mixing and mastering is a science, production is a science, and mixing and mastering is even more complex. It's like it's even more complex production, essentially. Edit this sound to, you're trying to produce this sound the perfect way you want to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even do mixing and mastering of vocals at all, really. Only on recording.
Mm-hmm.
Does all of it, and he can just hear things that like I wouldn't hear.
Mhm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've learned over time to like, you start to listen to music so much differently. But it kind of sucks because you can't really listen to music anymore.
Yeah.
Blissful manner without like dissecting it. But now you can really hear certain things like a lot of people are oblivious to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think about that in the same way that I like edit photos. So you're talking about like how you have to produce it in a way that sounds good for the way that most people consume it. And there's been so many times that I'll like edit photos on my monitor and I have to send it to my iPhone and make sure it looks good on an iPhone screen, and then I'll send it back and then make adjustments and then put it back on my iPhone and that type of stuff. And I think it sucks that we kind of have to do that, but it makes all the difference usually.
I agree with you. Like, I actually can't watch most sports games the same way anymore, just because, like, I'll watch something and I'll be like, oh, like this camera guy's like working really shitty. Like he's missing this part over here. Or I've noticed in NFL this season, like so much of the plays zoomed in so much more, which makes no fucking sense because you can't see all like 11 players on either side anymore. It's just so dumb. Like you're not able to watch the whole play.
I hate how like every year they always like no matter if it's NFL or like NBA, they always try to introduce this new camera angle.
I'm totally fine if they add something, but if they change it away from what was already there, that's what pisses me off.
Yeah.
Like the side scrolling thing in the bubble, that was really cool, I thought, because it didn't take away from other stuff. But like if they did that as like the main game camera, I would probably kill somebody.
What do you guys think about like the March Madness and like the Final Four? They always have like the camera that like tracks the ball as it moves. Like you know what I mean? Like the one that you can like see the benches on the side too. Like as they move the ball.
I'm good with that.
I kind of like that one. I like that one, but I feel like they never really implemented it in the NBA.
Yeah.
I like the one right behind the hoop, but it's like to the side. It's kind of like, you're seeing it from the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my favorite camera to shoot, honestly, because you're like right there with the action. Although I will say it does get dangerous sometimes. I think I showed them one time I was working a game and this dude like straight up just like barreled right into me. Like obviously he was coming on a fast break, and this dude, I don't remember, he's some D2 small ass school. I don't fucking know. Some dude. Yeah, bro. It's been a long day. But this fucker knee to knee. Like I'm surprised the dude didn't get hurt, honestly. But I was sitting down, so I guess that was part of it. But yeah, it's pay the cameraman more. That's all. Aaron, did you have a question?
I basically asked the question I was gonna ask.
Okay.
It would fit pretty well.
Tarun, you're up.
Yeah, I was just curious how you organize your day. So I mean, like, at least for me, my day is kind of revolved around work, right? And then as soon as work is done, I'll like get a snack or something, and then at that point, I'm already like itching to what I want to do in my free time, my personal time. But like with you, right? If you're running your own business, you kind of have to keep yourself accountable and make sure that you get done every day what you need to. So like, how do you go about doing that?
So I wake up and I first like do everything that I gotta do to make myself have good mental health. That's like the most important thing, especially being a artist. I feel like you want to be in a really good headspace.
Yeah.
And, you want to be in the good vibration, whatever, right? So I do all that. I go to the gym. I use the gym as a way to motivate myself to like be more efficient and do things faster. When it's like this weird, I don't know. I feel like there's something in your head, if you like really think deeply while you're at the gym and you're pushing weight and like you have to, it's like survival instincts. You start to like push your threshold. So I just use that first. It kind of gets me in the mood, motivated. Go home, make a beat, maybe make 3-4, do what I got to do administrative wise. And then studio time starts, and it's usually late, probably around like 5, 6, it'll start and go till sometimes 3, 4 in the morning. And so in the midst of things though, like work doesn't feel like work at all, really. Because, it's a social kind of environment where things are just, sometimes a guitarist is coming in and sometimes, someone's coming in to just do work and sit around and like give me advice on what I'm doing too. I always need ears of like anybody. So it feels really casual once studio time starts, because like artists will come in and they just want to feel at home, essentially. Like it can't it's not a really strict kind of thing at all. They're like, some people are killing whole bottles of Henny within like 2 hours.
2 hours?
Christian Klein.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
Nah, he has an affinity for Henny.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Shout out JR.
Choice. But yeah, it's and then when it gets late night, we're just all working on our laptops and editing stuff to perfection. It's kind of it's really fun, honestly. It's like everything, like I'm just like imagining these sounds all day, and
Mhm.
I'm just waiting to be able to get on the laptop after I wake up, work out, and eat and whatnot, and just
Mhm.
like get them out and like create something. Because now, like, there's so many ways that you can just create any sound that you would hear, or you want to imitate, and it's all at your fingertips, like really
Mhm.
these days with programs like Logic. So that's really my day. Honestly,
What time do you wake up?
it varies because if the
Mhm.
session the night before was like till 3 or 4 a.m., then it'll be like 11, 12. But like,
Yeah.
but um if it's like till like 12, 1, I try to I like to wake up before 9, ideally.
Mhm.
That keeps you productive. I feel like having that, even if you're not on like a 9 to 5 kind of thing, like
Mhm.
waking up during those hours and doing what you got to do is like a human thing, regardless.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It feels like you should be doing that. No one wants to just like. It's kind of weird. I was like getting used to it, like working more in the evenings, but doesn't feel right because you want
Mhm.
to go out and you learn to live that way.
Speaking of a healthy body, healthy mind, all that, we have some motivational goals that we had to work on
Wait, fuck,
this
can I ask
past
one more
week.
question? Sorry. I was gonna
Fuck, you're such a whore.
I just
God
came up with
damn.
it.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, so I don't know much about the music scene in Nova, but like is there like is there other studios that you're like competitive with, or is it are you guys just trying to focus on what you guys are doing?
Other studios that we're competitive with, in fact, we're doing everything we can to like outdo them.
Mhm.
But that's the fun of it. I feel like even hip hop is like it's like a sport in itself. It's a grind. It's a hustle. Like like how many beats can you? Like at a certain point, anyone could make a song, record a good song, write a good song, look cool. I mean, the scene around here has a lot of growing to do, but like
Mhm.
at a certain point, it's just about how consistently can you do these things. So and how are you, how are you hustling them? Like how are you going putting this flyer there, distributing CDs here, making merch and it's like you got to do so much to get, because like if you think about your artists that you like, they're always in your face essentially, like trying to give you new music, uh merch, tickets to their concert, and whatever it is, like, oh, they're in your city, I don't know, like something like that. Like there's a lot of interaction that you have to do because you have to create those fans, and yeah, it's it's hard, I feel like, for the average artist to like succeed even if they're good against other, like there's a lot of competition
Yeah.
for artists, like producers and engineers, like they're like a lot of people, I feel like you can get business anywhere. Like producers and
Mhm.
engineers are making more money than artists these days because everybody wants to be an artist.
Yeah, that's true. Nobody wants to do like the other work, like behind this,
Exactly, but the one thing about being an artist is like you have to be a really big entertainer at the same time to to
Mhm.
to even be successful. Like you have to be a personality. Like you can't. If you think of any artist that's like popping, like they have a really strong personality.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wait, actually, question. So, like, how does like when a producer makes a song for an artist, right? How does the money split work? Is it usually 50-50, or is it, I don't know.
Ooh, you're entering a scary conversation, my guy.
I'm just curious. I never know, right? So,
Well, unless these are like really independent artists who like if it's a bigger artist, usually it'll be like someone who's signed. And there's a lot of people who are signed even if they're not platinum recording artists or gold. There's
Mhm.
a lot of management groups for small artists to make a little money and whatnot. But um, if it's a signed artist, then often, depending on their deal, at least like 60% of the money is gone to
Mhm.
person who's funding, their studio time and this, that.
Right.
Then there's 40% left. There's different words for what they call it based on different deals. and like it's really like you're lucky to get 5% as a producer. As an engineer, you're lucky to get 5%. You know, sometimes you're trying to get 1 or 2. They call them points. You know, royalty points.
Right.
You collect 1%, 2% over time, and because you can do a massive amount of work that can pop because you're offering as a service. Like, let's say you know you have 1% of a lot of songs over time. Stack.
Yeah, like Tarun, if you remember what Tarif was talking about like a few weeks ago about how all those labels, like for sign artists, they give those advances and everything.
Yeah.
Like part of the artist's job not only is to recoup the advances, but actually I saw Logic talk about this like a while ago. As much as I really hate listening to Logic make music, but like he's very open about like the business side of everything, like honest about it, because now that he's quote unquote retired, like he's trying to pay all the people that helped him, because sometimes it's out of the artist's hands to like get that money out there, and so it's up to the label to help. And he was saying, because he's getting phone calls from people like engineers, producers, like musicians that like helped record for him, like they have still not seen their money, but like he's not the one physically giving out the money, you know. So like sometimes it's out of his control, and like these agreements, like there are contracts, but like, you know, there's not a lot of evidence of them, and so it's really tough, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's why it kind of sucks being a producer sometimes, because you're not always like, if you don't get that front money, like you don't know if you're gonna be able to see that money sometimes. So that's why leases are like a good, like beat leases are like a good way to like ensure that you're gonna get some form of money.
Already set the rights to whatever before you even sell the lease, you know. And
yeah,
it's, dude, a lot of artists are really getting, I mean, I'm sure Tarif told you, a lot of artists are really getting like did dirty by like all of their management, like
Yeah.
not a lot of money in it for like the product that you create and the money that comes off the sell, like the merch and the streaming money, and like you have to have a good deal where like your touring money is getting distributed to you as opposed to through your label and they're taking 60, 80, you know. And a lot of these artists don't have a lot of money. That's why you see when these artists, you know how like they only have 5 to 10 years, maybe if they're really lucky, whether they're popping. You see a lot of these guys getting on the business end of it at the end of their careers, or you know, after they're out of their prime, because that's where the money's at. They've been, and they have the connections. You know, they stay getting fucked over in their rookie years, and then they continue the legacy.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So every producer has a goal of making money. So does the artist. Like them, we also have goals. Tarun, what was your goal last week? Did you accomplish it?
My goal last week was to get halfway through my book, Shoe Dog. That's not my book. I mean, the book I'm reading. I think I'm at like, okay, there's like 400 something pages. And I was trying to get to like 200. I think I'm at like 120.
That's good though.
I'm getting there.
And we'll continue the goal for next week to be halfway through next week.
Yeah.
What's the book about?
It's about whatchamacallit? The creator of Nike's, like it's a biography.
Yeah.
It's called Shoe Dog.
Sus. Before we continue the goals, Harsha, you want to give us a quick question I've heard from your book that you're reading?
Oh yeah. So 2 or 3 weeks ago, I attended a talk with some senior vice presidents at Capital One, and they're basically like one level below the CEO, so they're pretty high up in the company, and they're just talking about, I guess, life advice, like what they learned throughout their career. And then at one point they recommended books. So one of them recommended this book called Principles. So I decided to read it this past couple weeks. It's by this guy named Ray Dalio, who made a hedge fund. One of the leading hedge funds is called Bridgewater, like 40 years ago. So he's worth like $2-3 billion now. So I was like, hey, I might as well read his book. You know, maybe I'll learn something. So in that, he talks about his principles and how he defined them at a young age, and he only hires people who he thinks share that same principle just to develop the culture in the company. So, just reading a lot about that, and it talks a lot about, I guess, what we're doing now, like setting goals for yourself, and
Mm.
then in your life, identifying problems and solving those problems as opposed to just pushing them off or trying to hide from them.
Mm-hmm.
And in decision making, he talks about, for example, if one of your goals is to go to the gym, the first thing you think of is, oh, that's really tiring. Like, I don't really want to go. That's your barrier to going to the gym. But when you're
Mhm.
evaluating that type of decision, if you think about the second and third order consequences, which is I want to be healthy and I want to get big or whatever, feel fit, then you're more likely to go to the gym as opposed to just thinking about the one thing stopping you.
I see.
So, yeah. So I guess the question I had for you guys is if you could pick one or maybe two principles that you think you live by or that you strive to live by, like, what do you think those are?
I mean,
Damn,
for
that's
me, like
a
it kind of goes back. It kind of goes back to like what we were talking about before. Is like doing something you enjoy doing. Instead of doing it like for the money. Like I'd rather be in the situation I am right now, where I'm looking for a job that I fit into in like a climate that I enjoy, rather than working some shitty desk office job. Just for the money. So like I think being creative like really helps that. So I guess that's probably like the main thing is just like enjoying what I'm doing throughout my day, whatever it may be, you know?
When I was reading this, I think we've had this conversation before, but I'd say one of the big things I live by is try not to, like, nothing in your life is worth getting super stressed out about.
Mhm.
Like, if you just keep everything in front of you and figure out what needs to be done to get through whatever you're going through, you will feel so much better and still be able to go to sleep at night and not have to worry about that. So it's just trying to stay positive and just knowing that whatever you did that day, like, you did the best you could and just move on from there. Just try to limit stress, I think.
I think one of mine that was more applicable when I was like actually going around and like walking around and like seeing people would be just one random act of kindness like every day to like a stranger, and like either it's just like holding the door for someone that's like you see is like struggling with like stuff or like offering to like carry stuff for people. I think for like me at least, like just knowing that I did something like a little bit to help someone else's day like kind of makes me feel better about myself. So that's like something I would try to live by.
Yeah, actually, I think next Tuesday or the Tuesday after, we're supposed to be getting gift cards from Capital One in the mail for $25.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to use that to like donate to a charity that we want or help someone in need. So I thought that's pretty cool
That's
that they're
good.
letting us do that.
What a nice bank.
Yeah, what's in your wallet?
There we go.
The biggest thing for me is I've learned to like be genuine and not try too hard to do anything. Like not think about how you want your life to go, but just rather just live your life. Like there's just like always these constructs where it's like, oh, I need to, I want to be the person who wakes up at this time and does this, this kind of has this in his life and whatever. But if like there's no reason to really like consciously think about it if you already are doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. So that's just like a huge thing for me because I used to overthink things, and now like I'm kind of in that mindset that if you just kind of let your thoughts, your actions just flow the way that you are, you already know what's right from wrong, but and stay conscious of the fact that at least for me, I always think I'm like, what you do wrong isn't a bad thing. It's definitely the biggest lesson. It's always the biggest lesson because there's no, you have second chances until you die. Like,
yeah, that's true.
I like that one. That's why I wake up at 12 on the weekends. I don't force it.
Yeah, I guess it's just me left, but I think I think I've been lucky in the fact that I've always been like surrounded by good people with good intentions, and I think that's a big part of me because I think, or a big part of how I operate is because when I see my friends succeeding, it kind of motivates me to do better. And also, I feel like people are like the greatest resource. I mean, I've been finding it out at work where like just asking one question to a person about a subject or something that I didn't know, like they give me 10 times more, I guess, return than if I was to do like a Google search or something like that. Um,
Yeah.
and so I think it's like really important to surround yourself with good people, and especially if you're going through a tough time. I think the people that you surround yourself with are the ones that can bring you up, lift you up, and take you out of that headspace or whatever kind of rut that you're in. So yeah.
I feel like we all gave pretty decent answers.
Yes, yeah, very unusual for.
Yeah, we're usually pretty shit at answering those kinds of questions.
Thanks for the question,
but-
Marsha. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Mm.
Thanks, Ray.
But continuing with the goals, I'll go next. To be honest, I kind of forgot about my goals within the last week, but I reminded myself, or I luckily we record these kinds of things, so I checked it out. One of them was to be more social, which I tried. Last week I tried to get us all to play Among Us, but nobody was having it. So I mean, it's two-way street, so like I can't just force it. So that didn't happen. But I mean, I talked to people, a little bit, not a lot. I mean, so I guess it's a success in a way. But I think we're all gonna get together tomorrow or something. Hopefully, I don't know. But the other one was like this job search thing, and like again, I can't really speak on it like in depth, but I made some progress with this specific application for this one place, so that's looking good. So I would say I would give myself like a solid 75%
Yeah, it's a passing grade.
completion rate. Yeah, hey bro, C's get degrees. Ron, what were your goals? Oh yeah, you had a test today, didn't you, buddy?
Yeah, so I essentially finished my first quarter as a Stanford graduate student today.
Hey,
That
let's
wow.
go!
Hey,
You fucking
fucking whore.
Yeah, I think the exam went okay.
Okay.
It's all right. I think look, this is the same teacher that was at the beginning of the quarter said like, don't worry about grades. Like you're already at Stanford. Like you guys will all be fine.
That is true, I guess,
but
to an extent.
but also he's like they've been grading pretty hard. So
Is that why he's saying don't worry?
Yeah, it's like mixed messages out here. But
yeah.
yeah, it feels good to be finishing my first quarter, but now it's just like a long break. So
That's true, yeah.
in terms of so I guess my goal for the last week was to make sure that I finished my exam, which I did. But the other goal was also to start playing the piano, which I did do. Actually, I played for like an hour on the weekend. I didn't play the song that I said I was going to because
That's okay.
I was too lazy to print it out, but it felt good to get back into it. And now that I have like the next month and a half to basically
Yeah.
do whatever I want, I think I can actually put more time into it and hopefully like learn more songs so that now when I go to people's houses and like I play the piano, I just don't play for Elise every time because that's getting kind of boring. But yeah, I think that's like I guess my main goal for the next week is to like set aside like some time each day or maybe like every other day to play and like find songs that I want to like start to learn. And I also want to start reading now, so my goal is to get a book ordered by the end of this weekend, and then I can start cracking on that next week.
You should start playing piano for Red Room, bro.
Yeah, actually,
I don't know if I have that talent, but
I was gonna ask you guys like, what was the second thing that you had said? You said the book. Yeah, how often do you guys read?
so that's actually the thing that we've been discussing on the podcast in the last couple of weeks, because at least for like me, I hadn't really touched the book I still haven't touched a book in a while now, but it's something that like we all are trying to make an active effort to like get back into, because I think like everyone like in their life had like a phase where they read like so many books like every month because like that's just something that they like to do. But yeah, I think that's like something that we're trying to get back into. But yeah, I'll let Tarun talk. Tarun reads more books.
Yeah, Tarun's the one who's done the most reading so far, like collectively recently. Like I
Yeah.
know I share the same boat. Like I haven't read probably since, honestly, I probably read freshman year of high school and then bullshit my way through everything else. So I really haven't read in a long time.
Mhm.
But yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I've read 2 books this month, and then I'm like a third of the way through my book right now. But before that, I don't think I've read a book since like early high school, and all the books that I was supposed to read in high school are probably like Spark Notes or whatever bullshit. Um, and the reason is just because of school is so like almost like ingrained that like reading is almost like an assignment, and I have to like take
yeah,
notes and pay attention to it. And like especially having to read books that I just did not give a shit about, like the Scarlet Letter, bro. Like fuck that book, bro. Um I just hated that shit. But like now, like there's so much knowledge out there for people to consume, and it's like I have so much more time now because I don't have to commute to Tyson's every morning and whatever else. So I figured I'd just start reading, and now it doesn't feel like an assignment, and I can actually, pick out the books that I want to read, and go ham pretty much. It feels a lot better, and it feels really like I have a really good sense of accomplishment when I finish a book. When you finish that last page, so that's a big part of it too.
I feel like a big part of it is also like kind of what we were talking about before, but like the attention span. Like I feel like a lot of us, our attention span was like, holy shit, look at all these fucking words on this piece of
Mhm.
paper. Like I don't want to have to deal with all that. But like once you get old, like I'm sure in high school we probably felt that way, but like now that we're like a bit older and
Mhm.
hopefully more mature in some cases, maybe not. Okay, I'm sorry, but like you're not, you're more inclined to do something of your own free will, like what
Yeah.
you were saying, and like you're like, okay, like this is gonna help me. So
Well,
you know,
actually, another part of that is too like my life revolves around a screen. Like I
yeah,
work on a screen. My phone is a screen. Everything is a goddamn screen. So I wanted to consume something that wasn't, like light flashing at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, just for health purposes, I guess.
I also feel like for me, I I think the enjoyment I got out of reading went down in high school because I think my high school at least we I went to high school where they prioritized math and science over like any like literature, like any like um literary arts courses. So I think like mentally when I got to TJ, I was like, okay, like I don't have to give a shit about English to do well here. So like therefore I'm like not gonna like read the books that they assign. I'll skim through it. Like I want to actually like participate in like English class and stuff. I might as well just focus my time and efforts into like math and science. And I feel like that probably hindered me in the long run. So I feel like now I'm trying to make up for that and try to get back into it.
Like Tarun said, though, books in high school are just so trash. They were so boring.
Mhm.
If
They
we
just
could
chose,
just
they
pick
chose
a
like so many
book,
period pieces that like no one really cared
Yeah.
about.
Classics, dude.
can't understand it.
I mean, like the stuff written in like Shakespeare language, yeah, like some of that is like really tough to like consume. But like I feel
Or
like
Homer.
some of the books I read in high school were like, I don't know, maybe it's because I had cool English teachers that chose interesting books. But I felt like some of the books I read were like, I mean, they were a pain in the ass to get through, but like they had cool like concepts, I guess.
The one book I liked from high school was October Sky. I don't know if any of you read that.
This is a good movie.
It's based on, yeah, I mean, the movie's based on the book, not the other way
It's
around.
based on a movie.
I think it was like Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
Yeah.
It's during the Cold War, and these kids decided to make a rocket, and I don't remember the rest, but it was good.
How about you, Vroon? What's your take on books?
Dude, I think books are like really good to read. I don't think I have enough time to read enough books that I want to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm a really slow reader, so it's gonna take me a while to really get through the books that I want.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm always looking at all these books. I'm like, ah, man, but should I start 3 books at once?
That's true. It's tough. It's tough. I feel like with a lot of stuff, like once you're out of it, it's hard to get back into it. So that's why we're trying to like get ourselves slowly back into it so that we're more, it's more natural, you know, we don't have to force
Mhm.
ourselves to do it as much.
Not try too hard.
Yeah,
Be genuine.
exactly.
Yeah.
I guess it's not completely the same, but if you want to, value your time, or what I'm trying to say is like you could listen to audiobooks on like 2 times speed.
Oh yeah, you to value.
I mean, that's not necessarily reading, but like it'll work.
I mean, it's just another way to get the content into your head. So I
Yeah.
feel like it's not the end of the
Yeah.
world.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I thought that might be the move, honestly. And then you would have read a lot of books.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Read.
Twice as fast.
Wait, that way, Vroon, you could listen to 2 books at one time, one in the right ear, one in the left. Just get all that knowledge at once.
bro. And while you're asleep too, that's your absolute like time.
It's too efficient.
Wow.
Too efficient.
Harsha, what were your goals last week? I know you did the book, but like, what else was popping?
I forgot. Oh, so last week I mentioned that my work week this week was going to be super duper duper super cock, and
Oh yes.
the
I
last
think we
3
got
days I
super in
worked.
there. My bad.
The last 3 days I worked an extra hour or two, but I was able to finish what I wanted to get done this week, so that's good. So I'll be chilling for the next week heading into Thanksgiving break and everything. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Good stuff, man.
Oh, maybe we
Thank
should
you.
say like when this comes out, it'll be Thanksgiving weekend essentially. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Oh
Yes.
shit, yeah.
We're thankful
We
for
butchered
you.
that.
Yeah, we are very.
No,
thankful for
it'll
you.
already be passed. It'll already be passed.
Okay, a little bit past, but that's okay.
We can still be thankful for our
Yeah.
listeners.
I mean, it'll be like 5 days later, but that's okay. You know what? Shalom. So what are your goals for next week?
So I mentioned that I was getting a $25 gift card to help someone out. So I'm gonna do some thinking and figure out where I wanted that money to go. Still don't know yet. And other than that, Thanksgiving Day is my dad's birthday, so I want to help out in the house somewhere, maybe in the kitchen, maybe not, but at least something.
What's your dad's area of
Okay.
expertise in the house?
Stuff outside, yes, and cleaning.
You can rake the leaves outside.
No, we did that last week.
Oh shit.
So
We're
your,
gonna
so your
find
gift to
something else.
him is just gonna be working on the house.
Yeah, my love language is active service.
Wait, how big is your
Is it
backyard?
actually?
I don't think I've-
Nah, I don't know. Turin, I don't know. I just made that up. And the backyard's not that big, but we had to do the front. We have a tree, 2 trees there, so they were just hella leaves.
True.
Y'all got 2 trees?
We
Absolutely.
do have 2. I try to
Just
think if
wanted-
it's 2 or 1 big one, but I think it's 2. I will. I'll
Wait, how
let
long
you
have
know
you
next
lived in this
week.
house?
There's definitely one.
7
why don't-
years.
You should
Okay.
tell everyone your address so they can go find out for themselves.
No.
Yeah, we
No,
might need a
it's at the
second
end of the
opinion. We might
episode.
need a second opinion on this, guys. If anyone can go visit.
Yeah, do a drive-by at Harsh's house.
Wait, what?
No, just
Oh,
a drive-by.
okay.
Oh,
No, it's definitely 2 because one tree's on the side of my house, and during
The other
trees
trees
on
on the
the
other
side?
side.
no, one of them's at the front, but the one at the side, when it's windy, the branches just hit my window so loudly, so I just wake up in the night,
No way, I don't believe that.
or I haven't fallen asleep yet. That's why I hear
Do you
it.
ever wake up in the
Okay.
day?
Yeah, like 12-1. That's a day, right?
Yeah.
Moving on from this shit. I don't know what my goal next week is. I really should prepare more coming into this episode. But I do want to get more social, which apparently, like I said, should happen tomorrow. I do want to get back into my music a bit more because I definitely, after I worked so hard on that, I was like, holy shit, this is such a big pain in the ass. Like I worked a couple of days after that on some stuff, but I was like, holy shit, I'm kind of over this. So I took a break from it. So hopefully getting back into that is on the cards, you know, if you will. But yeah, that'll wrap it up for this episode. Varun, is there anything you want to, you know, let people know about, like where we can catch Red Room Records and everything?
Follow Red Room 703 on Instagram, and stay up to date with what we're doing. You know, I appreciate you guys having me and we having this discussion. It was fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. We need support of everyone. So follow us and keep up to date. Support the music. Support your local artists.
yeah, we got a
Yeah,
big
we'll,
Nova crowd, so I'm sure we can spread
yeah.
the word for you.
Definitely.
Awesome. All right, guys.
All right.
All right.
Appreciate it,
man.
Varun.
See ya.
All right,
Thanks.
see ya.
Thank
you.
Guys.